Hey, hello, welcome to the Crypto Guru Network. My name is Bart, and I'm here together with
My name is Ilko.
Ilko.
And obviously Guru as well.
The man himself is also present. And today is an exciting day because we are starting the very first episode of the video series of the Unpackers. We already have a podcast, but today is an exciting day because we're going to show the Guru our homework. Basically of unpacking the journey of us, Ilko, myself, becoming a, let's say, profitable trader. And we're documenting that series here with on video as well, because obviously we need to chart and we need to show you that. And we also need to show how our mentor is, well, basically teaching us from, making mistakes to becoming more solid and profitable as well. That's it. We've been in the crypto sphere slightly longer, Ilko and myself, but we needed a plan, so we bought a course, and we're now more structurally getting into it.
Yeah.
Up to the point that we're now here ready to show some of our trades to Guru. And this also very much resembles a product that Guru has in the network, which is the mentorship. Is that right, Guru? Do you have your mentees and do you teach them like us to get ahead?
Yes, I do. I think since about 4 or 5 months, I started the mentorship program, and I think I've done about two people at the same time for the past 4 months. I think I've had about 8 students so far, and so far I've definitely been enjoying it. I think the past 2 months I've been taking on five people for free for the mentorship program, so five people at the same time. So that was a little different, but I really enjoy doing that as well. So yeah, I'm very very excited for to start the program with you guys. Definitely.
Yeah, great.
Uh,
Great stuff.
how do you approach that? Because we are somewhere in our learning journey, like everyone else is who knocks on your door. How do we start?
So usually, when I do like a one-on-one mentorship, I start off by determining the level that the student has at the time. But I think with you guys already have a pretty good understanding of the basics. You guys have been going through the main course as well, and through a lot of the educational content over the past few months. So I think with you guys, I already have a pretty good picture of what level you guys are at. So personally, what I was thinking for the upcoming months when we are doing this mentorship program, I was thinking of you guys every single week just taking on your trades, whether they are good or bad. I hope you guys still make a lot of mistakes because otherwise my job would be pretty easy. So the goal for you
Don't
guys is to
worry,
make
don't worry.
is to make as much mistakes as possible. For you guys to show me your trades over the period that we have in between our sessions together. I will give feedback on those trades, on both the good trades and also on the bad trades, of course. I will show you guys some things that I would do differently. I will show you guys some tips, some tricks on my screen, on my part. And I also thought it would be pretty cool that at some point when we think, okay, you guys are at a certain level now that you guys are potentially could be profitable for a longer period of time, that I could gift you to funded account challenge of $10,000 each, and that we could maybe try and make sure that you guys along our journey together become two funded traders. That would be the ultimate goal, of course. So I think that would be a cool item to add to the mentorship program as well, especially since we're documenting everything.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited. That's actually what I was thinking for the upcoming weeks and months.
Let's go.
Okay, I feel the pressure, Ilko, on my shoulders. So
Really?
that's okay. Yeah, sure. Well, I can talk perhaps easily about trading, but I'm not sure if am also good at it. So, shall I just? I don't know. Shall I just take some charts and show some fuck ups and some good trades, and
Yes,
from there on you
please.
can step in?
Yes, please.
Let me just do that. Well, let's go to a nice. I think it was a nice retrace trade. Yeah. So this was a nice trade, but I forgot to take profit, so it went all the way back. Um, the thing I did well is basically it's Arkham, whatever you call it. So I saw it grinding up in this channel. And did not take a short, but I took an entry somewhere at the, I put a limit order, so somewhere at the Asia session, it got filled around here. So that was pretty nice. Well, actually, exactly at the level of the long position. And then the next day it went up, but not just to my take profit level, and it was an all or nothing situation. I thought, okay, it will just go there, up until the point, of course, that it fully retraced, and hadn't I done anything, it also basically got to my stop loss, which I had put in profit. So I chickened out roughly somewhere here with a little bit of profit, but I was pretty annoyed with myself. So this is basically how I'm doing it as well. Working towards the perfect journal. This works for me right now. That in TradingView, I document, I color it in, and scribble my learnings, which here basically should have been that I should have taken partial profits rather than just all or nothing. So this is one trade where I was quite annoyed, but at least the entrance was okay. Sort of the how I got filled.
Right. Just a curious question before Guru takes over. I know you're a colorful person. I see a lot of colors in the sideline. Do they all have some meaning for you?
No,
Just some. Just curious.
No, well, these are just some of the emails. If you switch them off, then you don't see them. So that's basically TradingView who does it. But for me, the most important thing is I click on this. This is how I'm just building my own system. Make sure that my entries, stop loss, and take profit are correctly filled in, and from there on, I just monitor it. So I don't really look at these.
Okay, perfect. So I think it's time for me to start sharing my screen.
Yep.
I will show you what you could have done better. Let me first open up the chart of RAKM. Let me start sharing my screen with you guys. Screen over here, full screen, screen one. So I'm going to open up the chart. It's this one, right? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, definitely. First of all, let's start off with the take profit mistake that you kind of made. So the thing is here, you always obviously want to take partial profits, right? So that is something that you probably should have done in this instance. Usually I have around 2 or 3 different take profits set. And the thing is with take profits, you basically, what would be a good tip is that you have to reanalyze the chart. And basically, let's say you want to take profit, want to determine your take profit targets for a long position. You actually have to reanalyze the chart and find areas where you potentially would be looking at shorts within this area over here. So in that case, let's say the price is pushing up again and it's near an area of resistance where you potentially would also be interested in shorts. Let's say this is an interesting area. That means that if you are interested in potential shorts over here, that might be a good area to take some profits on your long position. Okay, so that's the first tip to make it a little easier for you to determine where you want to set those partial take profit targets. The second tip that I can give you is that you always want to take profit of your long position, not at the highest high, but at the second to highest high. So in this case, this was your take profit target. And I think it makes sense, right? Because you have these equal highs over here that provides a lot of liquidity and that the price might be drawn towards. But we also have this high a little lower over here. And if you see something like this, you want to make sure to never be greedy and to always take profit at this high instead of this high. Now, in this instance, there's another confluence why you should have taken profit at this high over here. It's the fact that this was a supply area over here for RAKM. So we had the supply area, and this high over here turned out to be an inducement for this supply area, for this order block, right? So you guys probably understand the way order blocks and supply and demand work by looking at the videos and by looking at the educational content over the past few months. And you also understand why what an inducement is. And in this instance, this actually was a beautiful inducement for this supply area over here, right? So that was another confluence why this should have been your main take profit target instead of this high. Besides the fact that you always want to take profit at the second to highest high instead of the highest high when you're looking to take profit on a long position, the second to highest high in this instance also turned out to be a beautiful inducement for this order block over here, which is why in this instance you definitely should have taken, I would say, at least 75% profit over here, and then you could have left 25% as a moonback in case it would have ran much higher. Okay, so that's the feedback that I can give based on the little error that you made with the take profit. But I think that's a pretty common error, and it always remains pretty hard. But the tip that I can give you is, well, the tip that I just explained, and also the tip where you're looking for areas of resistance, where in a different case you potentially would have been also interested in shorts. Those are always nice levels to take profit on your longs as well. Okay?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, perfect. I'm happy that it makes sense. Now, the entry, I definitely like the way that you were really patient with your entry, right? So I think you entered around the area over here, if I'm correct.
Yeah, below these three, exactly below these three.
Yeah, okay. So in your stop loss, I think it was over here, right? Now, what I like about your entry is the way that you were patiently waiting because you saw this slow grind up, right? And usually these
Yeah.
slow grinds up, they provide a lot of sell side liquidity. So these constant higher lows that we see over here on our chart, that means that there's a lot of liquidity resting beneath beneath these lows over here. So you always want to enter your trade where a lot of people are getting stopped out. So the thing that you did pretty well was waiting for a lot of people to get stopped out, which happened with this push down, and that's where you entered, right? Now, the thing that you could have done a little better is to actually be a little bit more patient and to once again look at where the inducement of the support area was being formed. So in this case, we had all of these lows that I just marked out, but we also had this low, we had this low, and we had these equal lows over here. Especially these equal lows over here are very, very important. Why? Because we can see that if I'm going on the 4-hourly time frame, is that beneath these equal lows is where we have this bullish order block. Okay? And can you see where the price bounced from? Exactly to the cent accuracy almost, exactly from this order block. So what you could have done just slightly better is to be even more patient. And this is why I'm always saying let the trade setup come to you and always pick the best available setup possible, because the entry that you took right now was already pretty good because you were very patient and you did enter where a lot of people were getting stopped out. But you could have done even better if you looked at this price section over here in confluence with this demand area over here. Okay, and that's where you should have gotten your entry. In that case, your entry should have been at the top of that order block, so you would have got a pinpoint perfect entry, right? Stop loss probably beneath the order block, and target would have been this high. Now we are looking at a trade of 4.5 RR, and that would have been a beautiful trade, obviously. And obviously, this is quite easy for me to say, right? Because this is always in hindsight, and it could have also been the case where the price did fill your entry over here and bounced. So in that case, you wouldn't have gotten filled. But regardless of what the price action has done right now, I do strongly believe that this was the best setup available in this case. Okay, because of this beautiful liquidity inducement over here, right above this very strong order block. Now, I will also tell you guys why this is a very strong order block. So I'm going a little bit more in depth over here, but this is quite interesting. The thing is, with order blocks, for an order block to be valid, it needs to have a bullish liquidity sweep. So for a bullish order block to be valid, it needs to have a bullish liquidity sweep. In this case, we saw a bullish sweep of this low, right? So that is one of the reasons why this was a valid order block. Another reason for an order block to be valid is that above the order block, you want to have a bullish fair value gap. We can see that we have this bullish fair value gap over here, right? Let me mark it out with some gold lines. Excuse me. So we have this bullish fair value gap over here that aligns above the order block, right? So if the order block is being formed on a 4-hourly time frame, you also want a bullish fair value gap to be formed on a 4-hourly time frame above your order block. Okay? So this is something that you can make notes of maybe after the session or something like that.
Yeah.
But for a bullish order block to be valid, you want to have a bullish fair value gap align right above the order block, and you want to have a bullish sweep of sell side liquidity before the order block gets formed. When we are looking at a bearish order block, it's obviously the other way around. Then we want to have a bearish sweep of some buy side liquidity before the move down is happening and before the order block is being formed. Okay, so without that liquidity sweep and without that bullish or bearish fair value gap aligning with your bullish or bearish order block, the order block cannot be valid. Now, the third thing for an order block to be valid, obviously, but that is something that we have talked about quite a lot already. That's obviously the inducement that you want to be formed right above your bullish order block or right below your bearish order block that we have over here. Okay? So I hope this very long and boring explanation makes a little bit of sense to you guys. But yeah, this is the kind of feedback that I could find based on your trade.
Okay, we have to say to the viewers here that we did not give these coins up front.
No, you did not.
I'm a little bit annoyed at you.
I hope
Okay.
you're not. I hope you're not. But
well, yeah, okay. Valid arguments. I cannot say anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, point taken, and I will have to replay this to study. Yeah, okay.
But at the end of
Up
the
to the
day,
next one.
if you only would have done the part of taking profit just a little better, it still would have been a nice trade, right? But you could have done
Yeah.
it even better if you stick to these kind of rules and these kind of small tips and tricks. But it's all just small little things that will come with time, without a doubt.
No, it's okay. You don't have to go easy on it. In the end, the market won't either. So
Yeah, that's
all
very, very true.
I was in a profitable trade. So can I?
Yes, I will
Let me
see
see.
if I can stop sharing my screen. Yeah, I stopped sharing my screen.
Yeah.
So you
So let's go to some coin which was just pumping right before that we came here online. Let me see how it's doing right now. Luckily, still in the
okay,
green.
that's looking very good.
I thought so as well. So yeah, another shady coin, I guess. It's a spot trade on Bidget, or how do you know how do you pronounce it?
BitGet, I think.
So,
But yeah, whatever.
so what I saw basically here was it's a rather new coin. That I also think that's why it isn't on Bybit. So it's only from this year.
Yeah.
Higher time frame, obviously not that great of a view, but below this level, it seemed to me like there was some accumulation.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the times these coins are new, and some market maker in the end will stand up, buy some of it to get it going again.
Yeah.
So I was looking on a smaller time frame basically to see if there wasn't I could go for an entry. You see, dear viewers, that this one is from the past. So what I saw here is so that this downtrend got turned around by this
Impulse.
this sweep,
Yeah.
this impulse, and then obviously I got FOMO. But I waited, and I think it was even with the how do I get now the I think I even drew a fib.
Maybe you can draw a fresh one.
Yeah, I can draw a fresh one. It's right here. Yeah. So yeah, basically I put there's here still an alert. I put some alerts along the way. I even wanted to. I'm cheeking with these order blocks here. By the way, indicators. So by the way, I just saw that in the other coin, the blue sort of line was exactly at where it stopped. Indeed, so you were spot on there with the analysis. And it seems also me to yeah, it's also here bouncing as well.
Yeah.
That's awkward. But yeah, I put my alerts here around the golden pocket so waiting for the retrace.
Yeah.
I had done it here. Sorry, I had done it here already, but it just kept pumping. But then I just took it as one big pump, let it come back until it even then I stepped in on this higher low. That was my analysis.
Yeah, and what was your reasoning on that higher low play? Like, what confluences could you find for you to decide, okay, this might be a nice entry point? Was it maybe on the lower time frame, on the 1 hourly time frame instead of the 4 hourly time frame?
Good question. Gee, I don't know. I think I just looked at the basic sort of price action. So higher high, higher high, higher low, and then here in this small trend as well. I think that mainly was it, and with the Fibonacci retracement, I think that was it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see what I can find, but it looks very, very good, of course. But I'm definitely seeing something interesting that you can maybe extend or take profit to some higher levels.
Yeah, and then before I drew this. When I drew, I also drew this line, sort of this diagonal trend line. I never know what to do with it. I never trust it. I don't like it, but I don't know. It just it seems now to be bouncing and on this one and now resting.
Yeah.
So then I can see if it goes higher from here. But yeah, that's.
I can definitely advise you to try and not use trend lines as much as possible. And sometimes you can use them to indicate where the liquidity is. So I will start sharing my screen in order to explain it a little better.
Guru, one question
Yes,
before you go to the explanation.
Of course.
All the lessons we learn and all the lessons we learned in the past, do they all apply to also the new coins?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Obviously, the higher the volume of a coin, the more trustworthy your coin is, I would say.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a coincidence that the coin that we were looking at before this one, I think it was ARKM, bounced to the center accuracy from that order block. And right now we can actually also see that also this one is also bouncing to the center accuracy from the top of this order block over here, as you can see.
Yeah,
so
right.
I think this is the perfect proof that also on lower volume and newer coins, price action at the end of the day is king and liquidity is king. But obviously, the higher the volume, the more trustworthy a coin is. That is why personally, I at the moment only trade Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I trade some Forex as well until volume returns to altcoins. But that doesn't mean that you cannot trade altcoins at this moment.
Exactly. All right.
How do you determine the top of that order block?
I usually use when I'm looking at a bullish order block, I'm using the top of the body over here, as you can see. So some people use the top of the wicks, but personally, I like to use the top of the bodies. And I think in this instance, you can see perfectly why I am doing that, because it bounced to the center accuracy. And the same was happening over here as well with RAKM, where I also used the top of the body over here, as you can see, instead of the top of the wick, and also bound to the center accuracy. When I'm looking at a bearish order block, I'm using the bottom of the body. Okay, so bullish order blocks, top of the body; bearish order blocks, bottom of the body. Personally, I like to extend it all the way to the wick when I'm looking at bullish order blocks to the bottom of the wick, and when I'm looking at bearish order blocks to the top of the wick. Okay?
Okay, I have to practice my order block detecting sensor.
And once again, over here, we can once again see that liquidity sweep over here occurring before this, while this order block was being formed, before this impulse started, right? So that's why this is one of the reasons why this order block was valid to use. And you can definitely see that it bounced pretty nicely. Now, Definitely, like you said, the trend was shifting over here on the 4 hourly time frame, so it was in a downtrend for a pretty long time. Well, this impulse was definitely indicating some strength of the bulls. I think waiting for the 0.618 or the golden pocket, whatever you want to call it, was definitely a smart idea. Why? Because let's say when we are looking at the Elliott wave theory, right, and this is wave one, then wave two of the 5 wave impulsive structure usually retraces back in between the golden pocket and the 0.786. And you can definitely see that it retraced exactly in between those two Fibonacci retracement areas, which is a very good sign. And you actually got a very nice entry over here as well in the 15-minute time frame. Why? Because you can see that over here we were just moving sideways, and this potentially is indicating some bullish accumulation. And over here we see another sideways movement, and you actually once again waited pretty patiently for the best entry, right? Because this is where some stop losses were resting. This is where the demand area was. You can see we bounced from the demand area, and that is where we bounced to the upside. So I think the entry, if you did base your entry based on the 15-minute time frame, it was a very, very good decision, a very wise decision. So that's actually very, very positive, Bart. So I can also be positive sometimes for you. Now, looking at potential take profit targets, let's say this was indeed the first impulsive move over here. My trading view is just a little bit laggy sometimes because of the recording, I think. I don't know if you guys can see it.
It's fine. It's fine on this screen.
Okay. It feels a little laggy, but it doesn't really matter. Let's say this was wave one and this was wave two. Now wave three is usually the most impulsive wave, and technically it should at least break through the end of wave one. Why do I also think that this is a potential wave two? Because we are seeing this A, B, C correctional structure. Now the C wave of that correctional structure is usually pretty impulsive, and that is also what we are seeing over here. So this is actually looking quite pretty right now for LBR, if I'm saying it correctly. But let's indeed say that this was wave one, this was wave two. Now we can use a trend-based FIB extension to determine potential targets for wave three. So what we are going to do is we are going to start at the start of wave one, click again at the end of wave one, drag it back towards the end of wave two, and now we are seeing some potential targets for our wave three. Now the minimum target usually for wave three is the 1.618. Okay, now what I kind of like about this target is that it aligns right above this buy side liquidity, as you can see. So this might be a signal of smart money to say to each other, like, okay, we are going to push the price towards this buy side liquidity, and we are going to use this liquidity to unload our bags that we accumulated over here and over here. Okay, and that is the way that you should try and get into the mind of the smart money. Now this one-to-one FIB extension level is also aligning with this buy side liquidity over here, as you can see. So also this, because like I just explained to you guys, you never want to be greedy and you always want to take partial profits. Exactly. Now this might be our main take profit target, right? Because we don't want to get greedy, and on top of that, this is also a huge RR trade if it reaches this target, because your entry was so on low time frame with a tight stop loss. You can get a potential huge RR trade over here. Now, because your entry was so tight with this tight stop loss, we can also decide to take some partial profits over here, because also the 0.618 FIB extension level aligns with this buy side liquidity. And once again, this is the second to lowest high compared to this high, right? So I think based on the lessons of the previous trade that we discussed from you, Bart, I think you can extend your take profit targets to this one and to this one. Then I would take profits at the high instead of the Fibonacci level. But the fact that these Fibonacci extension levels are aligning so nicely with these buy side liquidity highs, and that also this impulsive and correctional structure is looking quite clean, I'm expecting maybe something like this. I don't know how this coin will treat this Elliott wave pattern, but this is definitely something that I could see playing out over the upcoming weeks. So if I were you, I would definitely take probably most of my profits over here, but I would definitely keep a moon back for this high and also potentially for this high to extend your potential profits. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, normally I know quite well what to say, but
There you go.
next time you're up, Ilko.
Yeah, I know.
But you did quite a lot of things. You did pretty well over here, Bart. So my
Yeah.
compliments.
No, but you're obviously right. This is not the buy Bitcoin, so you have OCO orders here. So I
Okay.
have an OCO order here with an take profit. I think somewhere the first target that you had or something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And so it's one against the other, and a stop loss to at least protect some of it, even though it's spot. But then I can better take the OCO, let's say the second target, and just an alert at the first take profit, and then manually close a bit. That's what I'm thinking as well. But that's the mechanics of it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I'm just realizing that these extension FIPS is in the course, but not very much in my knowledge. So yeah, spot on. Thanks for the analysis.
My pleasure, my pleasure. But you did a very good job already. So this is just some smaller tips that could help you improve even more.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an unforgiving game, the market. So
It definitely is, yeah.
get to this level of really, profitability. Everything has to click, not just one thing.
Yes.
That's I'm trading now for the last 4 weeks, perfectly break even, but that's not the goal of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good stuff. There's some time. No, there's not time for one more.
Let's try and give you an altcoin. So I will stop sharing my screen.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you the following altcoin that I want you to look at. I'm going to give you Solana, and I want you to try and look for a potential long position on Solana, or at least a potential area of interest on Solana that you would look at for potential longs. Okay. So on a 4 hourly time frame it is. So I will give you some tips and I will try to guide you a little bit in the right direction here. So yeah, just yeah, try to tell us what you see. Try to tell us,
Yep.
take us with you on your thought process, and try to see what you can find over here. Because I do think this is quite an interesting chart right now.
Yeah, Solana obviously is one of these coins which with higher volumes nowadays.
Exactly.
I guess I would say after Bitcoin, Ethereum is one of the favorites of the market.
Yeah.
I think today it just I don't know what the Monday range is, but if it's more acting more like the Monday range, then well, I just saw that it took this liquidity.
Uh-huh.
You want a long position, right?
Yeah. Try to look a little bit more at the 4 hourly time frame. So a little bit more zoomed out view.
Yeah.
I think that will help quite a bit.
Yeah, so this is a clear range. Yeah, I would go then to the. I would even go. No, that's too far. Yeah, it's now against resistance.
Mm-hmm. So what is that telling you? That you probably want to wait for little lower levels to engage with a potential long position, right?
It has these imbalances over here. Yeah, so I wouldn't do anything right now. Mark my levels. Here is the top of another range.
Yeah. You're looking at the right direction right now.
So yeah, I would first mark the ranges.
Mm-hmm.
I can also see that this is an entire range. Oh, that's a bit too far, right? That is last year. Yeah, but it had just had this huge wave up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it has these EMAs. So I would wait until this retraces up until here or here,
Yeah, yeah.
and then wait for a bullish signal for a sweep or
Yeah.
something like a break of structure, and then enter there.
Yeah. Okay. So, what would be your exact POI? Like, what would be the area that you really would like Solana to hold on to, in order to remain bullish on the price action?
Yeah. So you want, yeah, you can a high and then a low,
Yeah, a higher low
high,
indeed.
high.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we are potentially anticipating, right? If we are anticipating for the bullish trend to continue, and we do, yeah, right now, then we want to anticipate a potential higher low play. That's where we want to engage with the market with a potential long. Only now, try to identify the POI that Solana needs to hold on to in order to remain bullish, in your opinion.
Yeah. So if it's now against resistance, this is the bottom of this little range.
Yeah, exactly.
So it could, take some of this
Yeah,
imbalance
yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah.
4 hour. It's a 4 hour block, so it doesn't need to sweep it all the way.
Exactly.
So I would put an alert here.
Yes.
So then you have a nice higher high.
Yes, you're looking in the right direction, definitely.
Also, of course, you have the is it from here or here?
No, the one you did before. The most, you always want to take the most recent impulse.
Okay, yeah. So this is the you have the
0.5.
so it's the premium
Yeah,
and the discount.
exactly. We always want to look for longs within our discount, so that's below the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement
Yeah.
level.
So yeah, it could sweep up till here.
Yeah,
Maybe even test the impulse here.
also possible. Yeah, definitely. Okay, you're looking in the right direction. Now I'm just going to try and smoothen it up a little, if you would
Yeah.
allow me. But this is definitely also the POI that I was looking at. So you're definitely doing a great job over here.
Oh man, this putting on the spot. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I will start sharing my screen. Let me just widen it up a little bit. There you go. Screen, full screen, share. Okay, if this is our Solana chart, like you said, we have this little bit of range forming over here. Now, why do I anticipate potential higher levels? Because we haven't swept this buy side liquidity yet, right? So until we sweep this buy side liquidity, and also if we zoom in more locally, these equal highs, I think the Solana price has a reason to keep going up, right? But now we discussed that we always want to enter where people are getting wrecked, right? Where people are getting stopped out. So this is a low where people might have some stop losses. This is another low where people might have some stop losses. So right now we can already identify that whenever we want to long, it at least should be somewhere beneath these lows, right? So that's already tightening our area of interest, because our area of interest should be anywhere in here, right? Now, if we look at a current structure for Solana and keeping it very simple, we have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, we have a higher high. Now, in order for the trend to remain bullish, we do not want to break this high, right? Because then we would shift the trend bearish. So now we can once again tighten our area of interest a little bit more into this, because we do not want to lose this low over here in order to remain bullish, right? Now, looking at the price action over here towards the upside, it was very, very impulsive. The price only found two small hiccups. We had this hiccup over here, and we had this hiccup over here, right? Besides those two hiccups, the price went up pretty swiftly and pretty smoothly. So that means there's a reason why the price was stopping over here. There's a reason why the price was stopping over here. Price action never lies. Previous support always turns into resistance. Now, if you can find the right confluences, of course. The fact that you marked out this as an important level over here, because it was a previous range high, is something that I do really like. Okay, so that was a very good thing. Now we can also see that the range low of this previous range that we have over here is this level over here. And that is once again aligning with this area of interest. So we have this range high area aligning with this little hiccup over here, and I will explain in a little bit why the price was finding this hiccup over here. And we have this little hiccup over here aligning with this previous range low area over here. We can also see that after it was our range low area over here, it also turned into resistance numerous times over here as well, right? And then we reclaimed it over here and we impulsed up further. So definitely a pivotal level as well. Now we have two potential POIs, right? We have this kind of POI over here approximately, and we have this POI over here. This is all just based on price action. Now we have to use a little bit of common sense and a little bit of Elliott wave theory, a little bit of Fibonacci retracement tool in order to determine what could be our best area of interest to look for longs. Now, over here is where we have a supply area, right? So we have the supply. If I'm going to extend this to the right, we can definitely see a strong supply area. This is where supply was coming into the market for this impulse down. Where did the price find resistance? Exactly at the supply area. So this is definitely interesting area. This impulse up broke through the previous supply. Now, if previous supply gets broken through with a very impulsive candle with also a bullish fair value gap, which we have over here, if I'm going to switch on replay like this, we can see that we have this bullish fair value gap on the 4-hourly time frame. Then we can use this previous supply area as demand. That is what we call a breaker block. Remember?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So now we have identified that this is a nice potential breaker block. If I'm going to switch off my replay once again, we can see that we have these lows over here that are building up sell-side liquidity, right? What could these lows potentially indicate over here, if I may ask?
Inducement, yeah.
Exactly. Very good answer. So this is our inducement for our breaker block, for our demand area over here. So currently, it looks like that we would prefer this area of interest instead of this one. Why? Because this, first of all, is a little bit stronger because of this previous supply that acted as resistance over here and then got very impulsively broken through with a bullish fair value gap and with an inducement. This one does have a fair value gap, but it's not a bullish fair value gap. So why is it not a bullish fair value gap? Because this candle that is confirming the fair value gap didn't close green, but it closed in the red. So that is why this is not a bullish valid fair value gap to confirm this demand area over here. Okay? So these small little tips and tricks can help us identify what's currently the valid POI over the invalid POI and what POI we would prefer. If you can find, usually you can find four different POIs to look for potential longs and 4 different POIs to look for potential shorts, because there's always something that you can say in favor of the POI, right? Maybe the one POI has this golden Fibonacci ratio aligning with it, but the other POI has this hour 4 200 EMA aligning with it. But it's up to us to use the small tips and tricks and all of the confluences to determine what's the best and highest probability POI. Okay, so currently what I would potentially be looking at is to get a dip into this POI over here and bounce from there towards this buy side liquidity that we have above this high over here. Okay.
Would you put a limit order or a trigger here and then see?
Personally, I'm not trading altcoins right now with limit orders. I'm only waiting for triggers. But this, if let's say this would have been on Bitcoin, I definitely would dare to set a limit over here, or maybe at the top of this wick over here, maybe stop loss either below this low, but that's a little bit too obvious. So then I would probably adjust it a little lower, anticipating a potential small sweep. And then I hope that I don't get stopped out. So I would widen it a little bit. And then I would use this as my target, and that still offers a nice RR of 3.5. So yeah, because this is quite a high target, we can widen our stop loss a little bit and avoid getting swept out if this low over here gets swept. Okay, so you can either decide to put it right beneath the low and get an even higher RR, But personally, I would like to play it a little safe over here and lower my stop a little bit because it still offers a nice RR if we do. So I hope this all makes sense once again.
Why would you? Yeah, one of the final questions. Why would you prefer to trade a coin like this over wilder, let's say, more exotic coins like RKM, LBR, something like this, who seem to have more volatility? Is that because they're more unpredictable?
Yeah, more unpredictable. They usually, because of the low volume, they have quite big wicks as well, quite often. And sometimes those wicks on exchanges can shoot right through your stop loss, can shoot right through
Right.
your entry
Yeah.
point and stuff like that. And that kind of slippage can also hurt you quite a lot with your P&L at the end of the day. So that's one of the reasons why you should prefer to trade high volume coins. At least that's why I'm preferring to trade high volume coins, especially if you're going to start working with a little bit of bigger orders on those low volume coins, and you get those big wicks on those exchanges. You can get fucked really hard with your stop loss, and the slippage can sometimes be pretty big. So let's say, for example, your stop loss shows that you only lose $100 when your stop loss gets hit because of those low volume coins and on those exchanges. Sometimes you lose, instead of $100, you lose $125. That's quite a big difference.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I'm preferring the high volume coins right now.
Okay, got a lot of new insights. Let's make this every 2 weeks instead of 1 week,
Yeah.
I think,
Okay.
to digest everything.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds like a plan.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I need to replay this, and we've got some great educational content
For sure.
in the library again. So thank you very much for this now.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Always.
Homework?
Homework.
What is our homework?
What I want you guys to do as homework is to go over the video that I have on order blocks once again. So I will show you guys over here in our Discord server. We have this market lesson. Over here we have this live stream about order blocks. I want you guys to look at this one, and I
Yeah.
want you guys to look at this explanation about inducements. So rewatch this live stream and rewatch this video about inducements. And then next video we have made sure that at least the order blocks and also the inducements that make the order blocks valid are completely understood by you guys. If you guys find any questions after watching this live stream and this video about the inducements and the order blocks, make sure to write them down, and we can start off the next session with discussing those questions about these topics.
Great. Will do.
How do we compare to other students?
You guys are doing pretty well. Trust me.
Okay.
I've had far
Yeah,
and far worse the first session. Far and far worse, Bart. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good.
As always, it's a journey.
Yeah,
Yes, of course,
exactly.
Great stuff.
I'm getting emotional.
Yeah.
All right, this was it.
Should I finish up the video?
Exactly.
Okay, guys, I'm helping out Bart a little bit over here, but I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of this mentorship program. I'm very excited to continue the mentorship program with these two beautiful students. Really appreciate you guys putting on your face as well. And in the future, I will do that as well after the big phase review. But more about that will follow in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, probably in about 2 weeks, we'll have another video ready for you guys. And in the meantime, next week, I think we are going to Rotterdam to a crypto hedge fund to record a very cool podcast. So we are very excited for that as well. But thank you guys for watching. And I think the last word could be for Ilko or for Bart. And then I will see you guys soon.
Well, I guess I'm less emotional than Bart, but thanks for watching. Next time I will chart some coins. So be patient and be kind.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.